My older sister that want no contact with our family 10 years ago gave me a harsh reality check, and now I'm questioning everything. My older sister, 31, female, we will call her Jessie, went no contact with me and the rest of the family close to 10 years ago. I was 13 when this happened, and all I remembered was when I came home from school with my other siblings. Both of my parents told me that Jessie was no longer a part of our family and that she chose Satan over family, and I remember being crushed. I think I cried when they first told me because I felt like she just abandoned me. After that conversation, my parents banned us from speaking about Jessie and removed all photos of her around the house. The months that went on without Jessie, the more I grew to hate her and got angry that she chose Satan over our family. Meanwhile, for me, I stayed very much loyal to my parents. I studied the Bible day and night and was active in my church, just so I could prove to my parents I was not like Jessie. At 16, my parents signed off and I got married to my now husband. Then, 6 months after our wedding, I got pregnant with my first child and I had a tough birth. It was an at-home birth, and to put it in simpler terms, I almost died. I lost a lot of blood, and on top of that went into heart failure. I didn't know, but Jessie tried showing up to the hospital, but my parents had security escort her out. Jessie tried to reach out to me numerous times throughout the years, but I always blocked her because I was under the impression she was an apostate. Fast forward to now, I'm 23 and I have 4 daughters. Also recently found out I was pregnant and went to an eye doctor appointment, and guess who was at the front desk? My older sister, Jessie. I was kind of stuck for a moment because a part of me wanted to just hug her and tell her how much I missed her. But I just couldn't, given everything I was told about her. She tried to make small talk with me, but I gave her the cold shoulder a bit. Towards the end of my visit, she gave me a card with her number and told me to please meet up with her to explain her side. After 3 days of going back and forth with myself, I decided to meet up with her for closure initially. She told me she never wanted to leave me, but the church left her no choice. Her ex-husband, whom she was married to while she was in the church, was abusive towards her and was beating the crap out of her, and she begged our minister to be released from marriage, and he didn't allow it. Since she was scared for her and my nephew's life, she left. As awful as it sounds, I did not believe her because her ex-husband got remarried to one of my friends, and she had no visible signs of abuse, let alone told me she was getting hurt by it. She then went into how our parents are a part of a cult, how it destroyed our family. I remember I did get angry with her and started calling her apostate and that she was lying to protect herself from sin. She then just lets me have it and says, I've been trying to be nice to you because even if you don't feel like it, you're a victim. You are a child bride who also dropped out of school to become a wife and mother. The only reason why the church is nice to you is because of your daughters, and they don't want to piss you off and lose the girls. If you want to continue to be brainwashed and spineless, be my guest. But if you can't leave for yourself, leave for your daughters, then she just gets up and leaves. Ever since that conversation, I've been replaying everything I was ever taught in my life and questioning it. I've been Googling and reading Reddit stories, but thinking about the religion I invested so much time into being a complete lie is honestly too hurtful to think about it. Especially my husband. Is our relationship a lie? Did he groom me? Or was he also a victim of the circumstances of our religion? I have the answer to none of these questions, and I quite honestly don't know if I want to know. Edit. Thank you everyone for the feedback. I've been reading all the comments and answering a couple of repetitive questions. I don't feel comfortable revealing what church I'm a part of, given I have no idea if anyone actually creeps on Reddit, and I don't want to risk it. Secondly, my husband, he's not abusive towards me and never once laid his hands on me or his daughters. But also he works 60 hours a week, so our time together is limited these days. As far as my sister, she has sent me a follow-up text after our conversation, apologizing to me for being blunt with me, and I haven't responded because I still have so much to think about and have virtually nowhere to start, it feels. But also, I want to apologize if I came across as a victim blamer in my post. That's never my intention. The sister responded with her own Reddit post. I'm the older sister that went no contact and gave my sister a harsh reality check. I saw that my sister posted here and the post gathered a lot of traction, so I thought it would be necessary to share my side. I'm Jessie and her story, and I commented on her post. I don't remember her exact username, but I'm here to offer a bit of better context. My little sister is in a religious cult that she's willingly participating in and, in my opinion, putting my nieces in potential harm's way. I know she sees me as some devil that was sent by Satan to tempt her. I'm most definitely not that. I'm not going to say what church to protect my sister. However, she should face some accountability given she's an adult now. But to start from the beginning, we come from a big family of 8 siblings, total of 6 boys and the other 2, which are me and my sister. I pretty much raised my siblings being the 3rd oldest, especially my younger sister, and it kind of hurt that she brushed past that in her post. But moving on, I looked after her and my siblings until I was married off, which was when I was 18, and it would probably be 16 if I wasn't firm about finishing high school. But I didn't want to get married, and the only reason why I married my ex-husband was because he was the only suitor at the time. In the religion that was okay about me continuing my studies and go to college. I regret that now, given he was lying. He got me pregnant right away and was a physically hurtful person. I'm not going to go into detail, but he would have most likely unalived me or my son if it wasn't for me leaving when I did. My son was also the main factor in why I left, so it's baffling to me that my sister has 4 daughters and does not ever have the urge to leave. Instead, continued to listen to these same men who told me I needed to stay with my hurtful husband because it was a testament from God that I needed to get through it with my husband. Then my birth givers, honestly, they should be in jail if you ask me. Especially my father. He's a crappy person. I saw him fist fight with my brothers regularly back when he was like 200 pounds and my brothers were like 80 pounds. He's never hit me personally, but I've seen him quite literally knock the wind out of my mother, and we were conditioned to think that was normal. And it wasn't. I know my sister is not going to like me bringing in our parents because the way her life is now is thanks to them. But I mean, it has its benefits because she's probably the golden child for them because she's not the difficult child and is the one who does what she's told. Now her husband, he's 35 years old. So yes, he was 28 marrying a 16-year-old. Before you ask, how is that legal? In my awful state, you can get married at 16 with parental permission, and on top of that, the age of consent is 16 years old. So everything was legal. I remember when I first heard she was getting married to her husband, I tried everything in my power to stop the marriage from going through. I got the police involved, and they were absolutely useless because of the First Amendment, and on top of that, they privately interviewed my little sister, and she basically said she's not being forced to do anything against her will. So there's nothing the cops could do. I still get mad at this situation to this day. Luckily, her husband is not hurtful. She got extremely lucky there, but he's still horrible in my opinion. It's absolutely ridiculous how she has ever been pregnant or had a baby on her hip the entirety of their marriage so far. She couldn't finish high school because of the lack of help with the baby, plus he nearly unalived my sister. When he pushed for an at-home birth, knowing she had preeclampsia, and he also threatened me with a restraining order when I tried to go see her in the hospital. Now back to our conversation 2 weeks ago. You really hurt me when you didn't believe me about my abuse. Like, I was honestly devastated that you would believe a man who signed his rights away as a father to protect his image than me, your sister. But I also know you're extremely naive and have been severely brainwashed, so I'm not mad at you. But I was indeed hurt by you. Given everything you ever told me, I believed you without any hesitation. Also, when you didn't want to bring your daughters to meet my kids, that hurt me also. Especially seemingly you didn't want to acknowledge my kids when we met up. I'm saying this because I want you to know that your actions do have cause and effect on other people, because I don't think you understand that fully. I hate that I've resorted to a Reddit post to get your freaking attention, but maybe once you see the countless people in here saying the same thing, maybe you would realize I'm on your side, and I've always been on your side. The people in that organization only care about you and your family because you have daughters, and you're still willing to pop more kids out for them and blindly follow them. Again, I will repeat myself, I will help you if you let me. But as of right now, you're not letting me.